Hey Susan, it's Nan. And I'm sitting in my little recording booth, but I didn't close the curtain because I wanted you to see the lady on my wall. She's my falling angel. And I thought she would be appropriate for the story I'm about to tell you. Uh yeah. I really wanted you to see her. I love her and I look at her from my bed every night. My friend Polly made her. She's an amazing artist and I love that lady. Okay, maybe she's Grace. Oh, maybe she's Grace. Oh my God. See, whenever I talk to you, something good happens. Okay, so I promised you that I was going to read you a story, and I'm finally getting to it before I go to bed. And it's a great bedtime story. So here we go. The story is called The Curse of Blessings, and it's by Rabbi Mitchell Chefetz, who just died last year. He was a cool dude. My Rabbi Jonathan, read this story to the congregation one Friday night at services, and it was probably about 15 years ago, maybe more, probably 20 years ago. And it absolutely stayed with me. It made an impact on me in a huge way. And that's all I'm going to say. The Curse of Blessings. And here's one of the illustrations. It's beautiful, right? Yeah. Okay, you see this, the police officer is assaulting the man who's on the ground. I'm going to take a sip. The Curse of Blessings. There was an officer of the law, a recent graduate, proud as you can imagine, in his uniform of blue with brass buttons and gold epaulets. He wore a hat with a plume and a sword with a gold and ivory handle. He was as pompous as could be. He was arrogant and bold and callous. Every letter of the alphabet served only to demonstrate his authority and exalt his being. One day he was walking his beat and heard a commotion in an alley. He ventured into the darkness and there in the distance saw a man in rags. "Come forward," he commanded. "Come forward now." But the man in rags did not come forward. "I am an officer of the law and I command you. Come forward." The man in rags did not move. He shifted his weight from one foot to the other and spoke, "I don't know what I'm going to do with you." "Do with me?" the officer of the law mocked. "Do with me? You don't do with me. I do with you. I am an officer of the law and I command you to come forward." "Now I know what to do with you," the man in rags said. And as he spoke, he drew his sword. "Now I know what to do." Without further word, he moved to attack. The officer of the law drew his own sword in defense. "Stop that," he ordered. "Put your sword down right now." But the man in rags did not stop. The officer of the law had to parry thrusts left and right. "Stop," he said again, but to no avail. The officer of the law was forced to retreat. When it seemed the man in rags would prevail, he lowered his guard, and what the officer of the law had intended as a parry became a thrust. His sword ran through the man in rags. "I didn't mean that," the officer of the law said. "I didn't mean to hurt you. Why didn't you stop when I ordered you to? Why did you attack me?" The man in rags waved the words away. "I am leaving you," he said, "and as I do, I put upon you the curse of blessings." "What do you mean?" asked the officer of the law, now quite confused. "The curse of blessings. Every day you must say a new blessing, one you have never said before. On the day you do not say a new blessing, on that day you will die. The man in rags closed his eyes. The officer of the law looked about for help. There was none to be found. When he turned back, the man in rags had disappeared. He was gone. It was a dream, the officer of the law thought. Only a dream. I imagined it. The time was late in the afternoon. The sun was setting. As much as the officer of the law tried to ignore his experience, he could not. The Jewish day ends with sunset. The officer of the law felt his body growing cold and knew from the chill that his life was leaving him. In a panic, he uttered these words of blessing. You are blessed, the Lord our God, ruler of the universe, who has created such a beautiful sunset. At once, warmth and life flowed back into him. He realized with both shock and relief the curse had been for real. The next morning, he did not delay. He woke with words of blessing. You are blessed that you allowed me to wake up this morning. His life felt secure the entire day. The next morning, he blessed his ability to rise from his bed. The following day, that he could tie his shoes. Day after day, he found abilities he could bless. That he could go to the bathroom, that he had teeth to brush, that each finger of his hands still worked, that he had toes on his feet and hair on his head. He blessed his clothes, every garment. He blessed his house, the roof and the floor, his furniture, every table and chair. At last he ran out of things to bless, so he began to bless relationships. He blessed his family and friends, fellow workers, and those who worked for him. He blessed the mailman and the clerks. He was surprised to find they appreciated the blessings. His words had power. They drew family and friends closer to him. Word went out that the officer of the law was a source of blessing. Years passed, decades. The officer of the law had to go farther afield to find new sources of blessing. He blessed city councils and university buildings, scientists and their discoveries. As he traveled through the world, he became in awe of its balance and beauty, and blessed that. The more he learned, the more he had to bless. His life was long, and he had the opportunity to learn in every field. He passed the age of 100. Most of his friends were long gone. His time was relegated to searching for the purpose in his life and the one source from which all blessings flow. He had long since realized he was not the source, but only the conduit. And even that realization was welcomed with a blessing that sustained him for yet another day. As he approached the age of 120, he considered that his life was long enough. Even Moses had not lived longer. On his birthday, he made a conscious decision to utter no new blessing and allow his life to come to an end. Still, he could recite the old blessings, and throughout the day he reviewed them, all the blessings for his body and his possessions, for his relationships that spread throughout the world, for the awesome beauty and balance of creation, and for the deep resonance, the pulse of purpose that pervaded his very being. But no new blessing passed his lips. As the sun was setting, a chill progressed inward from his extremities. He did not resist it. In the twilight, a figure appeared. The man in rags. You! The officer of the law exclaimed. "I have thought about you every day for 100 years. I never meant to harm you. Please forgive me." "You don't understand," said the man in rags. "You don't know who I am, do you? I am the angel who was sent 100 years ago to harvest your soul. But when I looked at you, so pompous and proud, there was nothing there to harvest. An empty uniform was all I saw. So I put upon you the curse of blessings, and now look at what you've become." The officer of the law grasped in an instant all that had happened and why. Overwhelmed, he said, "You are blessed, my God, ruler of the universe, that you have kept me alive and sustained me so that I could attain this moment." "Now look what you've done," the man in rags said in frustration. "A new blessing." Life flowed back into the officer of the law, and he and the man in rags looked to each other, neither of them knowing quite what to do. And this is my story of blessing. I need to remember this story every day because gratitude is such an important quality to me. I'm grateful for so many things. I'm grateful for you, Susan. I'm grateful for you in a big way, and you know that. But I'm grateful for all of the lessons I've learned and the people who've come into my life, the people who've challenged me and made me angry. Oops, it got dark. Ooh. And the people who just love me. I'm grateful for all of it I've learned. And this is just a thank you and a see you tomorrow. Love you, babe. Night, night.